There's a quiet truth that has been whispering to you your entire life. A knowing that money, true money, is not just numbers in a bank or coins in your hand. It is movement. It is current. It is energy. You were never meant to chase it like a tired shadow on the wall. You were meant to become the source from which it flows. The world taught you differently. It told you that money comes from working harder, sacrificing more, proving your worth. But what if that story is incomplete? What if the truth is not about chasing, but about aligning? Take a breath. Feel your body. Notice the invisible energy that moves through your chest, your limbs, your thoughts. This is the beginning, not a technique, not a tip, but a remembrance. You're not empty, waiting to be filled. You are a vessel overflowing with energy, emotion, and creative power. And money? Money is simply one way that the universe mirrors your inner frequency. So if you've been feeling like wealth is far away, if scarcity has wrapped itself around your thoughts like vines in a dark garden, this is your moment to untangle, to remember, because today we're not learning how to get more. We're awakening your natural state of receiving. Soft affirmations. I am not chasing wealth. I'm aligned with it. I'm not empty. I am overflowing. Money flows to me because I flow with life. Setting the tone. You are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. If money has been scarce in your life, it is not because you are lazy, lost, or unworthy. It is because somewhere along the way, you were taught to see money as separate from you, as something outside, as something earned only through suffering. But today we step into a new story, a softer one, a truer one. Money is energy. It responds to your state of being. It matches your frequency, not your effort alone. When you are tense, afraid, or clinging, it retreats. When you are open, trusting, and grateful, it returns. So before we speak of strategies, goals, or even affirmations, we begin with energy, with alignment, with presence, guided visualization. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Breathe in deeply. Exhale slowly. Imagine money as a golden river. It glimmers under the light. It's not rushing. It's not stagnant. It's flowing. Now imagine that this river begins to move toward you, not because you demand it, but because you are ready, because your heart is open, because your spirit is remembering how to receive. Let it flow into your hands, into your life, into your being. You do not need to force it. You do not need to deserve it. You only need to welcome it. Receiving flow. I open myself to receive. I am worthy of wealth. Money flows to me with ease. Abundance is my natural state. The more I relax, the more I receive. This is not just a meditation. This is not just a moment. This is the beginning of a shift so deep that the world outside you begins to reflect it. You're not becoming rich. You are becoming aligned. You are becoming open. You are becoming clear. And in that clarity, the universe listens. So let the old stories fall away. The ones that told you you're not enough. That money only comes to others. That your light must be dimmed to survive. None of it is real. None of it belongs to you anymore. You are not here to struggle. You are here to flow. You are not here to chase. You are here to attract. And from this moment on, we will walk together, deeper into the remembrance of your power, your worth, and your ability to receive. In the next chapter, we'll begin gently releasing the inherited stories that told you scarcity was normal and discover how to rewrite the beliefs that shaped your financial reality. But for now, just breathe and remember, you are the river, and the gold has always been within you. There are stories inside you, old ones. Some were whispered to you when you were young. Some were modeled by people you trusted, and some were absorbed so silently that you never realized they were there. Stories like, money is hard to come by. People like us never get ahead. It's selfish to want more. You have to suffer to deserve. And so you did. You tried harder. You gave more than you had. You kept your dreams small, just enough to survive. But what if those weren't your stories to carry? What if they belonged to generations before you? What if they were born from fear, not truth? And what if you could let them go now? I release what is not mine. I'm no longer bound by the past. I choose new beliefs. I welcome abundance with ease. You were not born for limitation. You were born from infinite potential. And yet, your mind was shaped like clay, molded by voices that didn't always know freedom. Parents, teachers, systems, wounds. They planted seeds of scarcity, not out of malice, but out of memory, out of survival. But your soul remembers something different. Your soul remembers the river, the one that never ran dry, the one that flowed without judgment, without effort, without fear. And that memory is rising now, not to blame, but to bless, not to destroy, but to transform. Because what was learned can be unlearned. What was passed down can be returned with love. You are not here to carry your family's fear. You are here to free it. Ask yourself gently, what was the first message I received about money? Whose voice do I hear when I feel guilty for wanting more? What belief have I outgrown, but still repeat? There is no shame in having believed the lie. There is only strength in seeing it now. You don't need to fix the past. You only need to choose again. And every time you do, every time you catch the thought that says, I can't, and replace it with I am allowed, you open another door. Doors you couldn't see before. Paths you didn't think were for you, but they were always yours, waiting for your yes. You see, scarcity was never your true story. It was just the one that got repeated the most. But your soul sings a different tune. And that music is abundance. I let go of scarcity. I let go of shame. I forgive the fear I inherited. I now write a new story, one of peace, one of trust, one of receiving. Feel the weight lifting, not all at once, but enough for breath to move again. Because this is how freedom begins. Not in shouting, but in noticing. Not in battle, but in soft rebellion. You are not here to shrink. You are not here to repeat. You are here to rise. So today, write it down. A new story, a new belief, a new truth. Let the ink be soft. Let the voice be yours. Let your worth be the foundation from which the river flows. And now, as we begin the next chapter, we'll explore how your emotions, yes, your very feelings, hold the key to unlocking the flow of wealth. Because after belief comes vibration, and your vibration is your currency. You may not see it yet, but right now, you're carrying a currency more powerful than gold. Not in your wallet, not in your work, but in your heart. It is your energy, your emotional signature, the invisible vibration that speaks louder than words ever could. Every moment, whether you're aware or not, you're radiating a signal, and the universe listens. Not to your plans, not to your pleas, but to your frequency. So if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but still feel stuck, it's not that you're wrong. It may be that you're out of tune. Think of yourself as a radio tower. You can't receive a jazz station while tuned into static. You can't manifest abundance while vibrating in fear, doubt, or shame. Not because you're being punished, but because you're simply tuned to a different channel. Abundance is always broadcasting. Peace is always playing, but you must align your inner frequency to hear it. Your body knows. It remembers the texture of joy, the warmth of gratitude, the peace of presence. These are not nice feelings. These are keys. They open doors. They attract. They create. Because the truth is, your emotions are not a reaction. They are a creation force. The way you feel is the way you shape reality. Imagine a still lake. Now toss in a stone of gratitude. Watch the ripples. Now toss in a thought of fear. See how the surface trembles. Your energy works the same way. Every emotion you feel sends ripples into the fabric of life. Today, I choose to feel good first. Not when the money comes, not when life is perfect, but now, because joy is the magnet, because gratitude is the gateway, because peace is my home frequency. I'm emotionally wealthy, and my vibration is my wealth. You don't need to fake it. You don't need to be positive all the time. This isn't about pretending. This is about choosing. Choosing what you practice. Choosing what you nurture. Choosing which emotion you deposit into your energetic bank each day. Because feelings are seeds, and the universe always grows what you water. Fear will sprout more fear. Love will bloom more love. Gratitude? It will multiply like sunlight on open soil. There once was a baker who, every morning, stood at the edge of her window, closed her eyes, and whispered, "Thank you," even before I begin. Some days were slow, some days were uncertain, but gratitude was always baked into the first loaf. And somehow, her shelves always emptied before sunset. It wasn't a recipe, it was her radiance. She didn't wait to feel abundant. She became abundant first, and life responded. I no longer wait to receive. I become the energy first. I let joy lead the way. I let trust carry me. I feel the abundance now, and it reflects back to me. Pause with me here. Place your hands on your belly or your chest. Breathe softly. Feel the rhythm of your breath. No rush. No need. Ask yourself, what emotion would I choose? If I knew money was already on its way, would it be calm, relief, excitement, playfulness? Feel it now. Let that emotion live in you for just a moment longer. Not because you're tricking the universe, but because you're aligning with it. This is magnetic. You are not here to beg the world to support you. You are here to tune into the world that already does. So from this moment forward, let your emotions become sacred. Let your vibration become intentional. Let your energy become the wealth that leads the way. Because the more you feel it now, the more life mirrors it later. In our next chapter, we'll move from energy to intention. Because when your frequency meets clarity, the soil is ready. And it's time to plant what your heart truly desires. Let's begin. Energy is the soil, but intention is the seed. Without it, your abundance has no direction. No place to bloom, no path to follow. You can feel all the joy in the world. But if your energy has no clarity, if your desires are vague, scattered, or conflicting, then the universe doesn't know what to deliver. This is where so many get stuck, not for lack of worth, not for lack of energy, but for lack of specificity. Your soul is powerful, your thoughts are magnetic, and your intention is a command, not a desperate wish, but a quiet declaration to the field of all things. Imagine your life as a garden. Every belief is a root, every emotion, the sunlight, every action, the tending of the soil. But what are the seeds? What are you planting? If you sow uncertainty, you'll reap confusion. If you sow fear, you'll harvest delay. But if you plant pure, clear, soul-aligned intention, you awaken the magic of creation. Ask yourself, what do I truly desire to experience? Why does it matter to me? Who will it serve beyond just myself? Do I dare to name it clearly and believe? You see, your desire is not random. It is divine instruction. It is the universe whispering, this is the direction. Walk here. But we've been trained to fear desire, to see it as greedy, as unrealistic, as too much. So we shrink. We generalize. We say things like, I just want to be comfortable, when what our soul really says is, I want freedom. I want overflow. I want to live my fullest, wildest purpose. There is nothing selfish about desiring more. There is only contraction in pretending you don't. I give my desires a voice. I plant with purpose. I'm not afraid to name what I truly want. My intentions are sacred. My clarity is magnetic. Now, imagine you're sitting at a wooden table. A candle burns beside you. The room is quiet, safe, and in front of you, a blank page. You are not journaling. You are scripting reality. So write, but write as if it's done. Write as if the soil has already received the seed. Begin like this. My wealth allows me to. My abundance flows to me so that I can. With prosperity, I am now able to feel each sentence, not with longing, but with certainty. These are not affirmations. These are energetic agreements. And the universe listens. Sylvia was a florist. Every morning, before she opened her shop, she would sit by the window, light a small candle, and write a single line in her worn leather notebook. Sometimes it was, I teach others about beauty. Other days, I create a space where joy can bloom. She never wrote, I want more sales. She wrote why she wanted to grow. And slowly, a nearby shop closed, giving her more space. A school invited her to teach children. People began traveling from other towns just to buy her arrangements. She planted with intention, not with haste, not with greed, but with devotion. And her garden grew. My intentions are clear. They are rooted in love. They are aligned with my truth. What I plant, I nurture. What I nurture, I grow. What I grow becomes reality. Sometimes what you plant today will take time to bloom. That does not mean it isn't working. That does not mean you are wrong. It simply means the roots are deepening. The soil is working. The unseen is aligning. So you don't need to dig it up. You don't need to force it open. You just keep tending. With presence, with faith, with clarity. Your intention is the blueprint. You are not hoping. You are designing. You are not wishing. You are declaring. So let your words be clean. Let your vision be sacred. Let your desires be trusted. Because what is meant for you is already growing. And the garden of your life is beginning to bloom. In the next chapter, we'll shift from intention to vibration. Because once the seeds are planted, the most powerful thing you can do is become the emotional match to their unfolding. Let's align your frequency to the life that's already on its way. Everything in this universe vibrates. Your voice, your thoughts, your breath, your emotions. You are an orchestra of frequencies, and the music you play becomes the life you live. If your frequency says, I trust, life sends reasons to deepen that trust. If your frequency says, I'm always lacking, life will echo the same. Not because you're being punished, but because this is the nature of vibration. It responds, it reflects, it magnifies. So the question is not, how do I get more? But rather, what am I being right now? You're a lighthouse. You don't chase ships. You don't beg the waves. You stand tall. You shine. And the light finds its way to those who are meant to see it. This is what raising your frequency is about. Not chasing, not pushing, not performing, just becoming the energy you want to attract. I am the frequency of abundance. I'm not waiting. I am vibrating. I radiate trust. I embody peace. I become the light, and the light returns to me. There's a world of difference between wanting and being. Wanting says, I need it to feel complete. Being says, I'm already whole, and life reflects that. You don't manifest by begging the universe. You manifest by becoming the person who already has what they desire. Not pretending, not faking, becoming. How does abundance walk? How does freedom speak? How does peace breathe? Let your body answer. Let your energy practice. Let your presence carry it now. Right now, straighten your spine, soften your jaw, drop your shoulders, and imagine that the version of you who has already received everything she asked for is alive in you now. How does she carry herself? How does he breathe? What is the energy in their chest? What do they know that you've forgotten? Feel it. Feel it now, and anchor it in your cells. Doris was tired of waiting. So she decided just for 30 days to become a version of herself who already had everything. She walked differently. She made her bed with care. She blessed her meals. She spoke as if abundance was natural. And something shifted, not just outside of her, but inside. She no longer waited for the world to approve her value. She embodied it. By day 30, offers came. Bills were paid. Things aligned. But she didn't celebrate the outcome. She celebrated the version of herself she had become. I walk like I'm already supported. I breathe like I'm already free. I speak from a place of peace. I hold space for miracles. I raise my frequency, and life rises with me. Every day, you're feeding one frequency or another. You're either feeding expansion or you're feeding contraction. You are either watering joy or nurturing fear. And that's not something to feel guilty about. It's something to feel empowered by, because every moment is a new opportunity to choose again, to rise again, to feel again. Your emotional state is your vibrational compass. And when you calibrate to the emotion of your desires, you unlock the doors that once felt closed. Tomorrow morning, before you open your phone, before you check the world outside, tune yourself first. Place your feet on the ground. Place your hand over your heart and say, I choose to feel as if it's already done. I allow joy to lead. I allow trust to carry me. I allow abundance to flow through me today. Just 2 minutes of this alignment can change the course of your entire day. And when you do it again and again, you begin to rewire your energy. You don't chase wealth. You harmonize with it. Every morning, I tune into joy. Every night, I rest in gratitude. My frequency is my foundation. My emotions are my signal. I am the vibration of abundance. You're magnetic, not because of what you do, but because of what you choose to feel. Your frequency is not locked. It's not fixed. It is flexible, alive, responsive. So feel better first. Move as if it's already here. And the life you once dreamed of will recognize you by your vibration. In the next chapter, we'll take this frequency even deeper and get a direction. Because when you raise your vibration with purpose, your abundance becomes more than a manifestation. It becomes a mission. Let's discover the power of aligning with why you're here and how money begins to flow to those who serve something greater. You weren't born just to survive. You weren't born to hustle endlessly, to pay bills, to retire exhausted. You were born with something to give, a light to share, a ripple to create. And the truth is, money flows fastest when it knows where it's going, when wealth has a purpose greater than ego, greater than status, greater than having more. It begins to flow with grace, with alignment, with power. Think of your purpose like a seed. It doesn't scream. It doesn't force. It quietly longs to grow, to serve, to bless. And when you align your energy with this purpose, money becomes a current, not a chase. Because wealth is not the end. It is the amplifier of your mission. What would I do if I knew all my needs were already met? Who would I help? What would I build? What would I teach? What would I heal? What would I pour my love into? Lena had already retired. She was done teaching, done with deadlines. But the children in her neighborhood still gathered near. Curious, open, wild-eyed. So she began again, not in a classroom, but in a garden. She taught them how to plant, how to write poetry, how to breathe. She never charged. She never advertised. And yet, opportunities arrived. Speaking engagements, parents donating supplies. Her name passed gently from hand to hand because her purpose had awakened, and money came to support it. Not because she asked, but because she aligned. My wealth has meaning. My abundance has direction. I serve through my light. I give from overflow, not depletion. The more I align with purpose, the more I receive. Russell had spent years trying to get rich. He had vision boards. He had affirmations. He read every book, but all felt fuzzy until one day he sat down and wrote, "I want wealth so I can help others heal, so I can write the book that's in me, so I can provide security for my sister, so I can build something that lasts." For the first time, he wasn't chasing the thing. He was aligning with the why. And that clarity, it changed everything. He found focus. Clients found him. Money followed purpose like it always does. Take a moment. Grab your journal. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Now begin writing. My abundance serves. Through my wealth, I am able to. When I receive, I use it to. Let your heart write. Don't filter. Don't judge. Just reveal. This is your declaration, your alignment, your North Star. I am here to serve something bigger than myself. I'm not small. My purpose is valid. My mission matters. Money supports my sacred work. When you are clear about who you are, what you offer, what you're devoted to, life rearranges to support you. You don't need to go viral. You don't need millions. You need clarity. You need devotion. You need alignment. When you embody your mission, the right people, resources, opportunities, they find you because energy travels faster than effort. How long have you been hiding your gifts? How many times have you told yourself, "I'm not ready," or maybe later? But what if now is your time? What if you're not meant to wait until it's perfect? What if the money you seek is waiting on you to simply say, "Yes, I'm ready to live my purpose. I no longer wait to be worthy. I no longer delay my light. I'm aligned with my mission. I'm guided by inner clarity. My purpose makes space for wealth, and my wealth supports the world." Abundance is not reserved for some. It is coded into your being. When you live in truth, let your vision be bold. Let your service be sacred. Let your receiving be open. And the universe, which loves nothing more than alignment, will rush to meet you. And now, with your purpose activated and your energy aligned, we enter the sacred rhythm of giving and receiving. Because flow isn't just about clarity. It's about circulation. Let's learn how to open your hands and trust the natural current of wealth. Let's become a vessel for both generosity and grace. Inhale, exhale. This is life. Expansion, contraction, giving, receiving. Do you notice how both are sacred? You cannot only breathe in. You cannot only breathe out. There must be rhythm. There must be movement. There must be circulation. And so it is with money. So it is with love. So it is with life itself. The world taught you to clutch, to hold tightly, to never let go. Save every penny. Don't trust anyone. Giving is risky. Receiving is selfish. But what if all of those beliefs cut you off from the river? What if, in trying to control the flow, you build a dam inside your soul? And what if you could let go now? No river hoards its water. No flower clings to its bloom. No tree refuses to shed its leaves. Nature gives. Nature receives. And it does so without hesitation. When a fruit falls from the branch, the tree does not grieve. It trusts the cycle. It trusts the return. This is wisdom, and it lives inside you too. Arthur was frugal, tight, careful, not because he was greedy, but because he was afraid. He had seen lack. He had lived through loss. So he clung. He counted every cent. He said no, even when he had more than enough. He felt safer controlling money than trusting it, until his sister fell ill, and something cracked open. He helped. He gave. And he watched in awe as life began giving back. A job offer, an unexpected check, support from strangers. He finally understood. What you release with love returns with grace. I let go of fear. I let money move. I trust the current. I give when called. I receive without guilt. I honor the sacred balance. You've been taught to give, to overextend, to pour yourself out. But have you been taught to receive, to say yes without apology, to let life bless you without guilt. Receiving is not selfish. It is an act of alignment. It says to the universe, I trust you to care for me. I believe I am worthy. I am open. And when you receive, you are replenished. You are recharged. You are able to give again, not from depletion, but from overflow. Close your eyes. Place your palms gently face up on your lap. Feel what it's like to be open. You're not reaching. You're not grabbing. You're simply available. Now imagine money as light, a golden current, gentle, warm, fluid. It moves toward your open hands, not because you fought for it, but because you became a safe place for it to land. You do not need to force this moment. Just allow and say softly to yourself, I am ready to receive. I am a vessel. I am safe to receive. It is good to be supported. It is beautiful to be blessed. Abundance flows to me and through me. Jeanette once received a beautiful antique vase, but instead of keeping it, she gave it to her neighbor, whose own had broken recently. She didn't plan to get anything in return. She gave because it felt right. Days later, that neighbor shared with her a book of old family recipes. Jeanette, a gifted cook, used those recipes to build something entirely new, a catering business, a new life. That one small gift bloomed into something so much larger. This is how circulation works. You give with love. You receive with grace. You become the flow. I do not hoard. I do not beg. I circulate. I flow. I trust that what leaves my hands returns multiplied. I am the river, and the river is always full. When you stop chasing, you start magnetizing. When you stop clinging, you start receiving. Giving and receiving are not separate. They are not opposites. They are one breath. So today, choose to be in rhythm. Let the money come. Let it go. Let it return. With trust, with peace, with beauty. This world is not broken. It is rhythmic. It is cyclical. It is alive. And you're a part of it. So open your hands. Soften your chest. Let your fear fall away. Because you were never meant to fight the current. You were meant to become it. In our next chapter, we journey inward to the quietest place inside of you, where answers are whispered, where intuition speaks, and where your inner guidance system begins to lead the way. Because after all the giving and receiving, there comes stillness. And within that stillness lives your oracle. Let's listen. There's a voice inside you. It doesn't shout. It doesn't argue. It doesn't demand to be heard. It waits. Softly, patiently, always. Is your inner oracle. The still, clear, eternal guidance that never left you. Only got buried beneath noise. You were never disconnected, only distracted. Now we return. Now we listen. Imagine standing in a forest. The world is still. The trees are breathing. And in the breeze, a whisper comes, not in words, but in knowing. That's what your inner voice feels like. It won't give you spreadsheets. It won't outline 10 steps, but it will give you direction, truth, next steps, and it never lies. You've been surrounded by noise, advice, expectations, comparisons, deadlines, everyone telling you what you should do, how you should live, what you should want. But your soul is not here to follow noise. Your soul is here to follow truth, and that truth lives within you. Right now, always. What if I stopped asking everyone else for answers? What if I trusted that I already know? What would I do if I knew I could trust my own wisdom? Calvin worked in a small telegraph office. Each day, he typed messages, dots and dashes, a rhythm of communication most couldn't hear. But in the stillness between messages, something else began to arrive. Whispers, impressions, feelings. At first he dismissed them, but over time he followed them. They led him to new ideas, investments, and moves. And everything began to shift, not because someone told him what to do, but because he had learned to listen. My soul speaks. I am learning to hear. I trust my inner knowing. I am safe to follow my own wisdom. The answers live within me. Close your eyes. Slow your breath. Imagine your mind as a calm lake. No ripples, no storms, just stillness. Now, place your hand on your heart and ask, what I need to know right now. Don't force the answer. Don't rush. Just allow. Whatever arises, feeling, image, word, hold it gently. This is your soul speaking. You are receiving. You are remembering. Hazel always felt things. Subtle feelings. Little nudges. Whispers no one else seemed to hear. But she didn't trust them. She thought, I need more evidence. I need someone to confirm it. I need a sign. And so she missed opportunities. Doors closed. Chances slipped away. Until one day, she followed the whisper. She turned down a job offer she would have normally accepted out of fear. And 2 weeks later, the right offer came, one that aligned perfectly. She realized then, her first voice was right all along. I release doubt. I choose clarity. I follow my intuition with grace. I am in harmony with my inner guidance. My soul knows the way. This isn't about learning something new. It's about remembering. You were born connected. You were born guided. You were born with a map in your heart. But the world taught you to ignore it. Now, you return to your own compass. And every time you listen, you recalibrate. To trust, to alignment, to truth. I no longer seek permission. I no longer doubt my knowing. I walk with inner clarity. I act with inner peace. I am led from within. Imagine now a golden thread inside your chest. It connects you to something ancient, something wise, something loving. Every time you ask with sincerity, this thread glows brighter. And every time you follow it, your path becomes clearer. This is your connection. It cannot be broken, and it will lead you exactly where you're meant to go. This chapter wasn't about doing. It was about listening, because sometimes the most powerful action is choosing to hear yourself again. You don't need everyone's advice. You don't need all the answers now. You need quiet. You need softness. You need stillness, because your soul is always speaking. And now, you are finally listening. In the next chapter, we'll explore the root of all resistance, the deepest block to abundance, the belief that you're not worthy of it. But you are. You always were. And now, we will remember that truth together. You may do the practices. You may speak the affirmations. You may even feel the frequency. But if you don't believe you deserve to receive, you will unconsciously block it all. Not because you're bad, not because you're broken, but because somewhere long ago, you were taught that you are not enough. And that belief, it becomes a wall, invisible, silent, but strong enough to hold back miracles. Maybe someone told you love had to be earned. Maybe you were rewarded only when you achieved. Maybe you were punished for wanting more. Maybe you were told to be small, to stay quiet, to not expect too much. So you did. And every time you dimmed your light, you buried a piece of your worth. But the truth is this: you were never meant to earn worthiness. You were born with it. You don't need to prove anything to deserve wealth, love, or joy. You only need to remember. Imagine your worth as a fountain. At birth, it flowed freely, radiant, clear, unstoppable. But as time passed, the world placed stones in it. You're too much. You're not enough. Be more like them. Don't ask for too much. And slowly, the water slowed. It trickled, then paused. But here's the miracle. The source never dried. It only waited. And now, together, we remove the stones, one by one, until the flow returns. I do not need to earn my worth. I was born worthy. I am enough as I am. I deserve to receive with ease. I trust myself to be supported. Pearl owned a small dress shop. She was talented, kind, devoted. But every time she considered expanding, she pulled back. She would whisper, "Who am I to want more?" She saw herself as simple, small, until one day, she stood before her own reflection, surrounded by bolts of the finest silk. She had been too afraid to purchase, and something in her shifted. She stopped apologizing for her dreams. She stopped minimizing her vision. She finally allowed herself to want more and to believe she could have it. That year, her shop became the most sought-after boutique in town because she let herself be seen. Gently ask yourself, where in my life do I still feel I need to prove myself? What part of me believes I'm not ready? Not enough? Too much? Can I meet that part with compassion? Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Imagine yourself standing in front of a mirror. But this time, you see your truth. Not the stories. Not the pain. Just you. Whole. Worthy. Radiant. You look into your own eyes and speak. I am ready now. I am worthy now. I trust myself to receive. Feel the words anchor. Feel them soften the armor. Let your fountain begin to flow again. I no longer shrink. I no longer hide. I allow my desires to rise. I am a safe place for abundance to land. I am worthy of every good thing. Abundance is not outside of you. It is trying to land in you, to rest in you, to be expressed through you. But it needs a home, and that home is your sense of worth. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to fix everything. You only have to let it in. Start small. Start softly. Receive a compliment. Let someone help. Ask for support. Each act of receiving is a brick in the temple of your own value. I am not here to prove myself. I am here to remember myself. I was born with sacred worth, and I allow abundance to honor that truth. Arise now, and I receive. The moment you believe you're worthy, everything changes. It doesn't mean life becomes perfect. It means you no longer stand at the door of abundance, wondering if you're allowed in. You open it. You step through. You take your place. You take your blessing, because it was always meant for you. Now, with your worth remembered and your heart open, you no longer just align with abundance. You become it. In our final chapter, we return full circle, not just as someone who seeks wealth, but as someone who is the channel through which wealth flows. Let us become the river of gold. You are not here to chase abundance. You are here to remember that you are abundance. You are not a bucket waiting to be filled. You are the river, the well, the source. Every belief you've released, every frequency you've raised, every truth you've reclaimed have been guiding you back to this knowing. You are not separate from wealth. You are the channel through which it flows. Imagine a golden stream flowing through your body. It doesn't come from the outside. It pours from your center, from your breath, from your heart. And as it flows, it touches everything. Your words, your work, your relationships, your creativity. This is prosperity, not something you hold, something you embody, something you live. I no longer wait for wealth. I become it. I am the flow. I am the vessel. I'm the river of gold. There's a quiet power in someone who knows they are supported. Someone who doesn't need to prove, to rush, to grasp. They move slowly, but with certainty. They make decisions not from fear, but from frequency. They don't ask, can I afford this? They ask, is this aligned with my truth? This is the shift. This is the new wealth. This is what it means to live as the river. Walter had built and lost his business twice. Each time, he blamed the economy, the timing, the market. But on the third beginning, something changed. He didn't push. He didn't grind. He aligned. He stood in the empty mill and spoke one sentence to himself. This time, I will build from worthiness, not fear. And this time, everything flowed, not because the world had changed, but because he had. You are now standing at the edge of everything you've ever asked for, not outside it, inside it. And from this place, you don't chase opportunities. You magnetize them. You don't force outcomes. You align with them Because your frequency has become your compass, and your energy has become your currency. I walk in wealth. I speak from truth. I move with grace. I attract with ease. I create from my soul. I'm a river of gold. You were never meant to hoard wealth. You were meant to circulate it, to bless, to uplift, to overflow. When abundance moves through you, it multiplies, it heals, it nourishes not only you, but everything around you. You become the blessing. You become the miracle. You become the reminder for others that it is safe to shine. This is true prosperity. Ask yourself, if I already knew I was the river, how would I speak? What would I create? Who would I bless? How would I show up in the world? Without fear? Without guilt? Without lack? Close your eyes. Feel your breath. Now imagine a light in the center of your chest. Golden, radiant, alive. With every inhale, it expands. With every exhale, it flows through your entire body. You are not pulling it in. You are releasing what was always within. Feel this golden energy move outward into your home, into your work, into your relationships. You don't need to force it. You only need to become it. Now softly whisper, I'm the river. I am the flow. I am the gold. I live from overflow. I trust the timing of my life. I share from my heart. I receive without resistance. I give without fear. I honor my worth. I embody abundance. I am the river of gold. You've arrived, not at a destination, but at a deeper truth. The truth that you were never lacking, never broken, never unworthy. You were simply remembering what your soul always knew. You're not here to beg for support. You are here to move with certainty, grace, and purpose. You are not chasing wealth. You are wealth. And from this moment on, you don't just call on abundance. You become the one who walks with it. If this journey spoke to you, if something inside you shifted, softened, or awakened, share this message. You never know who might need this exact moment. And don't forget to subscribe. Every day, we release new content to feed the soul, soften the heart, and call you back home to your truth. You are seen. You are held. You are ready. The river is flowing. And now, you're flowing with it. Sometimes, the most sacred part of journey is what happens after the breakthrough. When the music softens, when the energy stills, when the echo of every word begins to land, not just in your mind, but in your cells. You've walked through scarcity, through resistance, through remembrance, through trust, through purpose. Now you stand on new ground, not as someone who learned something, but as someone who became someone. And this version of you knows. She knows she doesn't need to chase. He knows he doesn't need to justify. They know they don't need to shrink anymore, because now you carry the river inside you. Think of the energy in you like a candle. At first, someone else may have lit it. Maybe a moment, a voice, a teaching, a sign. But now, you're the one tending it. Every time you speak with love, you fan the flame. Every time you rest with trust, you fuel the fire. Every time you give and receive without guilt, you become the light you once sought. This is the work. Not flashy, not loud, but sacred, sustainable, soulful. Take a deep breath and ask yourself gently, how would I live today if I fully believed I am abundance itself? No need to answer in words. Just feel. Feel the difference between chasing and being, between proving and resting, between surviving and shining. Let that feeling anchor now, like roots growing deep into the earth. You are home, not out there. Here, inside. You are the home. You are the source. You are the river. I no longer seek permission to be whole. I no longer wait for a sign to receive. I am no longer attached to the old story. I am the author now. I am a voice. I am a vessel. I am the river of gold. You may not always feel like this. There will be days when doubt returns, when the noise gets louder, when you forget. But now you know the way back. Back to your frequency, back to your breath, back to your light. And you'll walk the world differently now. You'll pause before reacting. You'll bless your money before spending. You'll speak to yourself with more softness. You'll make decisions not from fear, but from your future self. And that changes everything. Fade in gentle imagery. Someone opening a window, light pouring in. A golden river flowing through a forest. Quiet hands receiving water. A flower blooming in slow motion. Let the visuals reflect the new inner world you've cultivated. My default is peace. My rhythm is trust. My frequency is worthiness. My wealth is love in motion. My life is aligned with grace. What happens when just one person remembers their worth? What happens when just one person moves through the world in overflow, not in fear? It creates ripples. Your vibration affects the room. Your peace gives others permission. Your receiving becomes a lighthouse for someone else. You may never know how far your energy travels, but trust this. The abundance you embody becomes a healing for the world. You're not just doing this for you. You're doing it for everyone who forgot, everyone who was told they weren't enough, everyone who needs to see what's possible. And now, they will see it in you. Before we close, take one last breath. Not a breath of effort, a breath of arrival. Exhale fully. Now, say softly to yourself, I'm not behind. I'm not broken. I'm not forgotten. I am here. I am ready. I am the river of gold. Let echo. Let land. Let it be who you are now. Wherever you go from here, may you walk in remembrance. May your bank accounts mirror your inner worth. May your body feel safe to receive. May your hands always remain open. May your heart remain soft and expectant. And may the river you are bless every soul you touch with peace, presence, and overflow. If you felt something shift inside you today, if you feel more grounded, more open, more you, please share this video with someone who needs it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Every day, we release new videos to nourish your soul, soothe your heart, and realign you with the flow of life. Your journey is sacred. Your energy matters. And we're so honored to walk beside you. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, keep flowing.